here. And where I'm at is, as a conservative, non-believer, I see a division in the atheist community that I would really like to see closed, because before the Trump administration, I felt a lot closer to my brothers and sisters in the atheist community. But I have honestly been ostracized in the last 4 years unfairly, and I'd like to know what can be done to heal those wounds. And that's where I'm at, guys. Yes, I did.
And I'm not interested. And I'm not interested in healing. I'm not interested in healing anything with you. Who's responsible for 400,000 deaths?
Well, if you give me a second, I'll go ahead and defend it. If you give me 1 minute to talk, and maybe not even that long, for me to eat when I become 60.
Okay, it's not debatable for me.
I don't think we've looked at all the nuances.
I don't think that you're remotely fucking qualified to look at the nuances. I'm talking about basic human rights. Kyle, what is your fucking problem that you will not answer the question that you are asked?
I think it is more complicated than what you're making it, Matt. I think it's a loaded question.
I'm asking you a question. You answer the question that I asked. Kyle, why don't you shut up and listen to the expert?
Right decision in the election.
You don't understand the law. You don't understand what happened. You don't understand the cases. You don't understand who Trump is. You don't understand who evangelicals are. You understand nothing about this and think you're making informed decisions. You are not. You are making misinformed decisions, ill-informed decisions, and you're making decisions which are actually contrary to your own desires and interests because you voted for a person who does not share your values.
All I did was try to come here to put out an olive branch.
I'm not interested in all
I'm not a believer,
people
but
who aren't paying attention.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry, Kyle, that you're not paying attention.
Conversation about the division, and we.
I wish that you cared more about your other people.
As long as both sides are this angry, things are going to get bad. Whether
no,
we're
sir.
part of it or not.
No, sir, Kyle.
Are going to get
no,
bad.
Sir. Things are not going to get bad. People are going to go to jail. Kyle, nobody is saying you should go to jail because you voted for Trump. How dare you suggest that we said otherwise?
Well,
how fucking dishonest.
Seem like I'm some evil guy. You really
you are not a good person. You are not a good person who is doing good things. But none of us said, fine, I'm just dropping you. I'm just dropping you then if you're just going to keep talking. Because nobody said you were going to, nobody said you should go to jail, you crying little whiny shit. Nobody said you should go to jail. You don't get to pretend you're a good person. You have done things which are in fact awful, that are hurting all of us, that make the world worse because you were worried about your personal retirement. That's your own fucking greed. We have Kyle from Indiana. Oh, our Trump caller from last week, who, welcome back, Kyle. You have a question for me this week. I'm happy to try and answer.
Well, Matt, well, thanks. And I want to talk to you because I found that when dealing with people, and if I do not communicate in a level that you understand, please ask me questions, Matt, because and here's where I'm at. I've been following you a long time, and one of your mantra, or your main mantra, and sorry if I am wrong, but is you want to believe as much things that are true as possible and not believe things that aren't true. And I promise you that is how I approach things.
Except that last week,
situational ethics.
Except that last week you repeatedly, last week you repeatedly agreed with me on political positions that you voted for the person who stands in opposition to. So I'm not convinced that you are as concerned with truth, because if you're, or at least that you don't prioritize those over whether or not you're going to make a buck, which is another thing that I have a disagreement about. But you have a question for this week, so let's not rehash last week. Let's do this week.
Yes, I do. Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, do you remember?
Are you going to let me? Are you going to let me address
before we were born, just by a little bit? Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you for giving me permission to respond to your question.
It used to be.
No, it never was. It has never been. It has never been. Kyle, Kyle, stop.
Netanyahu.
Kyle, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
It has never been your business what goes on between a person and their religious leader, period. You're just being a bigot now, Kyle. You're not even, you're just like, how do we know that Biden isn't going
to,
how do we, you are in fact, Kyle, you are in fact,
such a simple decision.
All right, I'm going to mute your ass. I'm going to mute you because you won't shut up. You are in fact being a bigot. Well, you can say that about anyone, anytime, but you're being a bigot. And it's none of your business because Article 6 of the Constitution says there shall be no religious test for any public office or trust. So put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it. Now, anything else?
Yeah, if you want to keep going.
I'll correct everything that you're wrong about for a while.
I don't know where. No, you say that, but here's where we're at. I'm not sure that you've looked at it through a rational and reasonable position because.
Well, all right, Kyle, you can go fuck yourself. Goodbye. I'm pretty sure that I have looked at it through a rational, reasonable thing. I've also looked at it through the lens of the Constitution and to make sure that individual rights and freedoms are protected. And when Article 6 says there'll be no religious test for any public office or trust, and you call in to suggest that maybe Biden is a secret puppet of the Pope and that I'm the one that's not being reasonable, you can fuck right on off with that. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, why don't you take the week off and don't call in next week? That'd be a good idea. We have another caller waiting to talk to Shannon. Kyle in Indiana, how are you? Welcome to the Hang Up.
Shannon, first time I've talked to you, I've actually been looking forward to this. And
I'm probably going to stomp right into the middle of this. Based on the question you asked, I'm probably going to stomp right in the middle too, but go ahead.
I haven't looked.
And I'm going to say one thing.
Be the dividing mark.
I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to stop and let Shannon go. And the answer is, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter when personhood begins. Personhood is completely irrelevant to the pro-choice issue entirely, because it doesn't matter if it's 12 years old and writing poetry. It doesn't get to use anybody else's body without consent. So personhood is a big fucking red herring. But
where we want to go.
Nah, it's wow. It's like you just completely ignored everything I said and came right back around to it. It doesn't fucking matter.
You shouldn't, but it's not that simple.
Then that's the conversation is over. Once you say that, the entire issue is over. It's nobody else's business. When you let's not pretend like I'm the idiot here. When you invent a Star Trek like transporter that can do that,
Matt. I'm so far below you that I think that's our problem. I'm below you.
Oh.
All right. Well, if you're going to be that smug about it, I'll just hang up. Okay?
No, seriously.
You're not below me, Kyle. That's not the point.
So I think what you maybe need to do is kind of reflect on how society views women's bodies and what they're for and what life is and how to treat children. That seems like the overall problem.
I appreciate that, Shannon. And you know what? Unless Matt wants got anything else to say, I'm going to let go at this because, and y'all know that because I've become somewhat infamous.
Yeah, and for the people who, for the people in chat who thought, for the people, never mind. I'll just drop it. For the people in chat who were like, Matt jumped the gun. No, this is really straightforward. We have dropped Kyle. This is really straightforward. But those two things are science fiction, which means all of this is pointless speculation entirely. It would be neat. Hey, at what point does personhood begin? It doesn't matter. I could go with Bill Hicks' answer, which is you're a person when you're in my fucking phone book. I mean, that was Bill Hicks' answer. Now there's somebody in chat who says Matt doesn't like engaging in hypotheticals. Yes, I fucking do. But when the conversation's over, it's over. When the argument has been defeated, it's been defeated. Until you come up with a hypothetical, I don't want to sit here and waste everybody's time with Star Trek-like potential solutions to this. You want to talk about the transporter problem? Cool. Every time you step in a transporter, you commit suicide. That's just a fact. And some copy of you is created somewhere else.
Beam me up.
Oh, Shannon's offing herself. Kyle in Indiana, how are you? There we go. Now you're on, Kyle. My apologies.
Hey, Matt, I think you got me now. It finally beeps.
Yep.
It's all good. Hey, I want to get a couple pleasantries out of the way. Belated happy birthday. I happen to be celebrating 52 today, so I'm right with you there, my friend.
I'm a week older than you, so suck it up, Kyle.
Yeah, right. Right. Respect your elders. That's what I'm always.
That's right.
Always believing.
Migrants or immigration or policies or anything else. So why would you ask me what's going on at the border?
And I get
hang on.
It's
Kyle,
sort of north central Texas, but
Kyle, now you're pulling numbers out of your ass. It's not my fucking job.
So
bullshit. So instead of just tossing out nonsense statements, let's talk about facts. And the facts are, goodbye, you racist piece of shit, Kyle. How dare you, when you know nothing about the subject, nothing there. Kyle, you are banned from my shows. I'm so done with you. You keep calling in saying, I'm a conservative and I agree with you. Well, I don't give a fuck if you're conservative or not. What you are is terrible. It's like you were vomiting talking points.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.